So, tuning into my guides and seeing what is to come. Oh, goodness me. Oh, okay, thank you. A wave of emotions, they said. A wave of emotions. Okay, a lot of water energy coming in, I shall say. Emotions rising to the surface. Oh my God, when are we going to stop rising to the surface? But yeah, this is what we got. Okay, thinking of just checking with them. And I wrote down loads of little notes, as I always do. Clearing of toxins, that's what I've been told. Wash the toxins, clear them out. Okay, and I'm like, God, we've been doing that for so long. At the moment, we've got this high intensity of this beautiful light coming onto the planet at the moment. A lot of energy, thin of the veil, that's what I keep hearing, making it a little bit easier for us in a sense, to some degree, to connect spiritually, energetically to ourselves. Now, that sounds very nice, doesn't it? But with that comes the real, the empathics, how we're feeling so much more at this moment. And those who didn't even realize they're empathics are now really tuning into the energy on the earth, everybody else, the emotions rising to the surface. So now is really about that sensitive side of ourselves, like it hasn't been for the last God knows how long, but the sensitive side of ourselves where we can start opening up more and just to clear things out. Thinking they gave me an old wound of clearing things out. Okay, fine. Okay, so the light energy coming in makes it easier, should make it easier to connect energetically, spiritually wise. If you're doing your meditations, which I advise to all of you to do, you'll be able to connect more. You might get more of your guides stepping forward, or if you haven't quite worked out how to get your guides in, then, you know, ask, reach out. This is the time to do that study, and this is that time to ask for assistance. This is the time where they'll come in and help you and aid you. And your guides can be your loved ones, and they can also be other like-minded spirits that have come in to assist you at this particular time. Okay, I'm checking my notes to make sure I'm on course. Okay, thank you. And they just said very much about old issues now, time to be released. Okay, thank you. Some of you might feel a little bit, there's some chaos going on around you, chaotic energy as well going on around you. And this is just because there is, if we think of our energy field around us, there seems to be, when I'm looking into it for many of you, they're giving me, like, with the energy field around you, like this bubble of light and the different layers of the energy fields around you, it also feels as if there could be some segments that are maybe not so bright and sparkling, that there might be some old issues being brought up for you, things that have been triggered, some emotions. Now I want to say this is good, not that if you're the human you're feeling it, you're going to feel, no way is this good, because I'm feeling it, and it feels really crappy, but it's good to bring it up to the surface so you can have a little look at it to see what it has taught you and to see if it's actually serving any purpose now. Now we could say the universe is only going to bring to you what is of benefit or beneficial to help your soul grow, which is true. I'm not going to argue with you on that, but you may have thought that you dealt with an issue on one level, and then now it's going to come to the surface in a different layer, a different level of itself, and it needs to be cleared away. Now I've been told that you have to make a point by saying, right, I'm done with this now, I've learnt what I needed to learn, clear it out, move it out the way, don't want it anymore, I'm done with it. Because what I'm hearing is, normally you think, right, when something comes to the surface and you're looking at it, surely you look at it and it's done. But some of you are over analyzing, some of you are nitpicking, I just heard, nitpicking, having a look, going so deep that you don't need to go deep, by just acknowledging there was something that needed to be addressed, that either meeting somebody or a family issue coming up or a work issue coming up, whatever's coming up for you right now, whatever it is, just look at it, see what it is that you could have learnt from it and what it has shown you, and then say, thank you very much, go away now, I'm done with it, I don't want to look at it anymore. Because as I say, they're just saying some of you are nitpicking, fine details, trying to go even deeper into it, and actually you're getting stuck in that energy, and it's making it worse for yourself, believe it or not. Now, when this is happening for you at this moment, it's bringing it, it's showing, it's highlighting the different sides to you Okay, and it's having an effect upon you on so many different avenues and so many different sides to you that it's not going to be serving you any purpose. So you bring it up, you address it, you look at it, thank you very much, it's shown me this. And then you say, can you just go now? I'm done with it. I don't want to live in that same space. Now, the reason why it could be hanging around for some people is because it's a familiar energy. It's an energy that you think, okay, fine, I've felt this before, you know, like toxic relationships. I've been there, I've seen it, I've done it. But sometimes you get lost in it, you get stuck in it, and you stay there a little bit too long. And it might be how people are treating you. It might be how you're treating yourself as well, I just heard. A familiar feeling of how you've been treated in a derogatory fashion, or being put down, or whatever that is, it's bringing you. Sometimes you get lost in it. You don't, you know, it's like a repeating pattern. It's familiar. It's the same old. It's the devil you know, then going to something new. Thank you. So they said some of you are holding yourself back with this repeating pattern going on within either your family or relationship or whatever. But this is the time to sort of look at it and say, yeah, okay, thank you very much. Now, they also sort of said, thank you, that when you're going through this process of, you know, crap's happening, something's going on for you, and you stay in that moment a little bit too long than what you're supposed to, you lose your alignment, they just said. Now, alignment just means finding your internal balance within you. And this means that when something's going on around you, some sort of chaos, whether it's a family member or a romantic relationship, or it's a work colleague, or, okay, thank you. They even sort of mentioned about a parking ticket that I got recently. It could be anything that's going on for you, anything where there's some obstacles. When you feed into it, or when you connect that energy around it, that chaos, it pulls you out of balance. It knocks you off your feet. And so what this does is then it has an effect of other areas in your life, so that you can't see those other areas clearly. So, you know, I had this a couple of weeks ago, I got a parking ticket and I was like, what's going on? And I remember the day that I got the parking ticket, emotionally, I was all over the place. There was a lot going on at home. There was something going on with an ex-relationship. And I was so angry from this ex-relationship that I was still carrying around the energy of the anger of this individual person that was winding me up so crazy. I went into that very human moment because, of course, we're humans. We're having this human experience. I got very, you know, caught up in like, oh, how dare they do this to me? And, you know, and it was all about money. And I was like, losing money here, and they want this money from me now, and there's this other bill that's coming in, and really got caught up in it. It became like static around me, and it was pieces of static energy, and it was like I was there, and then parking, I paid for my ticket, but of course I didn't realise as I closed the door the ticket must have flown out, but I didn't have the ticket, it wasn't on the dashboard, and I got a parking ticket. And I was like, how the hell does this happen? I'm within the parking limit and everything else. But I was like, could this get any worse? And then as I just continued in that mode of, the rest chaos just came upon me. Everything you can imagine. It wasn't flowing as it normally does. And so I was out of alignment. So I was being pulled in different directions, you know, everything, you know, my childhood when we'd had a very poor upbringing. So that money thing came in there, and then this ex-partner and about relationships came in, and I was being pulled in this direction and pulled in that way. And so out of alignment, I wasn't truly being centered within myself. And then after that day, and, you know, once I came back from where I was on a trip and doing some bits and pieces, I was like, what's happened to me? I've lost control, and this has happened and everything. And I just sat there and I thought, right, I need to meditate. I need to find out what's going on, because I couldn't even hear my guides direct to me on that day. I sort of disconnected, where I was so much in my head and so caught up. I disconnected from hearing what my guides, my team would have said. Normally I'm like, find me a parking space, please. You know, parking ferries, come on, bring it to me. And I'd get a parking space. But because I was so out of alignment with this emotion of this individual that was creating chaos, or how I was being triggered by them and the whole old story that was around them, that it just created all this chaos. So when I sat down and I meditated when I got home, I was like, oh my God, I'm getting this. I'm understanding what happened now. And all I heard was like, all you needed to do is take 5 minutes out just to meditate, and then you could have realigned your energy again, and then, you know, you would have been fine. And I was like, oh, okay, got it. But of course, the human existence I'm living right now, because I got caught up in the emotions of being dragged backwards and forwards, I came out of alignment. I couldn't find my balance. And so sitting with my guys and my team, I was like, well, how do I find my balance when I'm in that situation? Of course, they said you need to sit and meditate. You need to say, right, acknowledge that things aren't going right. You need to stop for a moment. You need to pause. You need to realign yourself. You need to center yourself. And for me, I work with the chakra system and my energy internally. And I was like, if I'd tapped into that on that day and thought, where is this happening internally within me, my energy stream, it would have been easier. But of course, I went off into my head, and we're not taught this, are we, from a young age, to sort of sit and sort of, you know, bring your energy back in. And then I had another day when something happened, and then I remembered, I was like, right, okay, I'm going to do this now. So I fell into what was going on for me. And I brought it in, and I remember it was in my head, and I was like, my God, my mind was so kerfuffled. I just said kerfuffled with chaos, that I don't even know if that's a word, kerfuffled with chaos that they just gave me. And I remember my head was all over the place, and I was like, these are silly little things. I dropped a glass, and I was like, what the hell? So then I remembered from the previous day or a couple of days earlier that you need to center yourself. So I thought, right, okay, fine. So I sat down, and I was like, sat in my space. I physically sat with my body. I physically grounded myself. So I physically was aware of my feet, physically was aware of my body sitting there. And I then became physically aware of my breath and just sat with my breath for a while. And then when I sat with my breath, I had to automatically, you know, look, thinking and feeling about my lungs. I placed my hand on my heart, and I remember it made me feel quite centered. And I then remembered what they taught me. My guide just said, bring it down from your head. Bring it down into your heartbeat and your breath of your body. And this does take practice. You need to practice it a few times. And I sat with it, and I was like, okay, I understand what's going on. I understand how this has made me off-centered. I understand now that where it is, and bring it to my heart. And I remember I just felt that I needed to send it some compassion. I needed to send it some love. I needed to try and understand why it was rocking my world. And I was told that it served a purpose. It's made me aware of a certain situation. And I just remembered sitting there thinking, okay, I know why this person's wound me up. I can understand what's going on. Now, for the individual who's winding me up, what is it that I'm feeling right now? And I thought I need to come out of feeling angry at that person, because it wasn't serving me. It was making me so angry. It was going to my head that it outbalanced me. It sort of created that chaos. And then I was creating other chaos around me. It was like a magnet, you know, breaking the glass. I tripped up, hurt my toe and everything. But when I sat there and I breathed into it, I was like, all I heard was this from, you know, somewhere, I'd say my guides, was just saying to me, well, if we look at it from their point of view, what's going on for them? And I was like, oh, I get it. They're feeling insecure in themselves. I need to be compassionate towards them as well. And by me taking a moment out, by just tapping into my own breath and my heartbeat, I've stepped out of my brain with the old, you know, experiences and dilemmas around what, you know, had happened previously. But feeling into my heart, your heart brings you to the present moment. So when I was feeling into my heartbeat and being aware of my breath, I started to calm down physically. I then, obviously, the fog that was created in my head from the anger, the red mist, sort of started to drift away and fade away. And then being aware of if I can pull it down into my heart, sort of imagining as it drops down into my heart, feeling what maybe the other person was feeling, that I could connect to that. And then I started feeling into, I was told, what is it that I need? And that's what I heard. And I was like, I know what I need right now. I need to take a moment. I need some space. I need some time. And then it felt, when I started looking at what it is that I want, that anger for that other individual and the situation seemed to have faded away, it disappeared. And I was like, just focusing on me. And so I was told by my guides, my team, it was really about looking at what we want and what's been brought up, what's been addressed. And once you've then looked at it, it's then you just let it go. Just let it go, because it's served a purpose. It's about letting go of it, because otherwise you mess up your energy stream. It's like when you're dusting something, the dust goes everywhere. So by popping out of that angry moment and that, feeling so aggressive towards the individual, I started coming back into myself and I started aligning myself. So my energy started to settle internally within me. I started feeling that not just a physical balance, but an internal balance. And I sat with it and I was like, okay, I can deal with this now. And it was funny, my whole day shifted from sort of being angry or fearful or scared or lonely or whatever the thoughts or feelings that were around it, because I had to acknowledge the thoughts around it as well and the feelings I felt. But I realised, and then it settled my energy and I was like, right, now I'm back in alignment. So this also works the other way. So if I look at what's going on for me, I'm having fun in a sense of, okay, I would say, yes, I'm openly admitting I'm dating at the moment. And that energy of being excited, of meeting new individuals in my life, connecting to like-minded people, I'm getting quite excited. I'm building a new platform at the moment, a new project about covering topics like this, working with individuals about new subjects. And where I'm excited, it's bringing in lots of new opportunities. It's like it's driving new energy in. It's bringing new possibilities in. And when I sat with my guides, they were sort of saying, this is the energy flow that we need to be in with that manifestation at the moment. There's a lot going on the planet with this light energy, and this is the time, full speed ahead, and the expansion of yourself at this moment. And it's a great time where you can try to manifest. And I hate saying try because it's not, you don't need to try, you just imagine yourself stepping into it. So what I've been doing is, at the moment, of working with the energy of me, this sexual attraction with individuals, the excitement of going on dates, the excitement of dressing up, meeting new individuals. I'm sort of like, it's exciting times. And so it's having like an effect on other areas of my life. So it's that excitement that I'm actually, I bottle that feeling of when I might meet someone for the first time or engage in a conversation, and the excitement of that. With that excitement, it tends to now, it's moved over also to the new platform I'm building about topics and subjects I'm going to be covering with other practitioners. When the website goes live, I'm really looking forward into that. And I'm shifting, like as I shifted the energy down from the mind from before of the negative energy or the chaos, I'm actually bringing in the energy of like how exciting this is, and the expansion of myself and expansion of the work I'm going to be doing. And it's having an effect upon other areas in my life. So they were really saying at this moment, it's about embracing those highs. Look for those moments where, they said like a rainbow, after a storm or during a storm. It's looking for the excitement in your life. Where is it that you have excitement? Where is it that you have passion? It could be anywhere in your life, passion for anything at all. But if you allow that passion, the excitement to enter into your life, what you're going to find is it's going to ricochet. It's going to, okay, like a little ping pong ball they sort of show me. It's going to then ricochet out into your energy field, so that it's going to have a positive effect on other things around you. So it could be that you absolutely love your job and you're passionate about it and you spend all that time on it. And then you're loving that so much and you bottle it. You're sort of like, yeah, that's the feeling. I remember how that feels, that passion. You bring it in. I'd say you bring it into your heart center. Leave it there. Allow it to sit within inside you internally. And then what happens is it sort of then expands internally within you, and all your cells are like giggling away, like a bottle of Bucks Fizz or champagne giggling away. And then when there's something that's, you're not too happy about, or there's something that you need to work harder on, you'll find that sort of like that fizz within inside of you sort of then penetrates out, and then it has a positive effect to other areas around you. It's sort of like you're feeding it out. It's like, I was in a meditation the other day. I was working with sparkling light that I was asking my angels I was working with on that day to bring through some healing energy, and they was bringing this sparkling light and really fizzing away. And it makes me feel like every time where I'm embracing a happy moment, I mean, it could be anything that gives you joy, really bring it into your heart center and allow it to expand externally you know, within and internally and out of your body. And then also visualize what it is that you want to happen. So, you know, some people use the word manifesting. It's up to you if you want to use that word, but it's like what it is that you've got to step into next, what it is that what you would like to happen, whether that's a relationship or a work project, whatever it is, what fulfills your heart, because it's always about your heart. It's not about your mind. And allow the energy to move around. Allow the energy not to get stuck in one place. Allow the energy as it moves around to stimulate the other side and other areas of your life. It's a bit like what I said about the negative energy, about, you know, how it then, if you have chaos, it's going to bounce about, it's going to attract chaotic energy in. I had a friend I was talking to yesterday, actually, she said about an individual who was quite chaotic around her. And this chaos around this person was very negative. It really drained her energy, it really affected her, it really brought her down. And so what they're saying at the moment is it's about looking at your own energy hygiene. It's about looking at, you know, how it is for you, about other people in your life, what it is that you can do to help yourself. You're not meant to suffer. That's not the whole reason of why you're here. The reason for you at this moment, and particularly at this moment, is to look at your energy. Where are you allowing it to wander off? So if you're having those, you know, negative mindset, if things are going wrong around you, or you're getting caught up in the dramas of life, look at if you can take yourself away from it for a moment, because they may be other people's dramas that you're getting caught up in. Now, I'm all for soul growth. So I'm not saying, you know, don't explore what it's showing you, but explore it and then see if you really need to hold on to it any longer. You know, be aware of everybody that's brought into your life at this particular time are showing you lessons. They're helping your soul to growth. They're helping you on the next stage of your journey. So whoever comes in, you know, initially that may come into your life, I mean, let's say I've had it with a particular situation. You know, an individual's come into my life, show me something, it's no longer serving its purpose. It's no longer, I'm no longer feeling joy around it. I feel that I've learned what I needed to learn from it. And by sitting with it and looking at have I been taught. Now I sit in meditation with this, and I sit with my guides. I work with my higher consciousness, I work with my higher self, and ask, am I done now with that relationship? Have I learnt what I needed to learn from it? And, you know, believe me, sometimes they turn and say, no, you still need to revisit whatever it is. And then I'll sit there and say, okay, where is it in that relationship, or where is it within that situation what is it that I need to be shown right now? Teach me, show me. And so that's a good one to sit with, you know, your higher self through meditation. Just sit there and sort of see what comes up. Some of you might think, God, is that my inner voice that's going on? Yeah, if you hear an inner voice, or you feel or sense or whatever it is, that's brilliant. If you have an inner voice that bounces back at you and starts slagging you off, or you feel it's your mother screaming at you, or your father or a friend, yeah, that's not your higher self, and that's not your guides, because that's not what they do. That's not what they're meant to be doing. Your guides are meant to guide you on your journey. They're assigned to you from the moment that your soul, you know, came into this planet, came into this world, came into your vessel. But not enough of you, as I'm being told right now, are practicing this. Not enough of you are aware that you need to tune in. You need to sit with yourself. You need to tune in to the inner energy that you're receiving right now. And it's the greatest opportunity on the earth right now because of this April energy. You've got Neptune coming in, the flooding of emotions, the expansion of ourselves. It's the ideal time. But yes, it might feel vulnerable for you, but yes, that's how you're supposed to learn, because being vulnerable stops you in your track. It helps you to sit there and sort of go, okay, I connect. Now, you know, you have to connect to some of this stuff, because this is what's teaching you. It's all soul growth work. It's work that's helping your soul to learn. But if you want to break from it, you tell them too, hey, ease up a little bit. I've had enough of the soul lessons recently. I'm done for a little while. I need some breathing space. And ask them to take some stuff away from a while so you can breathe into it. And then, you know, if you sometimes, I mean, I asked recently, or should I say at the beginning of the year, I wanted my heart to expand. I wanted to feel into love and everything. And then what comes with it. Individuals that come into your life and they bring you information, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. I didn't realize I had an issue in that area. I didn't realize I need to do some work on that area. But that's what those individuals bring us. They bring us information. And once they've done that, and once you've looked at what's coming up for you, and you can align with yourself, when you can be your really authentic self and understand what is going on, already that's shown you a lesson. And if you just want to keep going back to the same lesson, well, you're just beating yourself over your head with that frying pan. It's no good. You're not serving yourself at all. So it's about, once you've learned that lesson, let go and then move on, because there's always somebody else, or another job, or another project, or another direction. There's always something new coming. It's just that sometimes you can hold yourself stuck for far too long when you're over analysing a certain topic and getting caught up in other people's chaos. And people tend to do that. People like to do that. You'll find those who are going through chaos, who may not be aware of energy work or their soul growth, that it feels more comfortable for them to be in that energy field of negativity, or feeling sorry for themselves, because that might be just their plateau. It might be just their space where they feel comfortable with. To do the real work, to move out of, feeling negative or low, means they might have to work at it. Some people are lazy, or some people don't even understand that they need to be on the journey, need to be on the pathway. So we are in April. This is the perfect time for issues, dramas to be risen to the surface, for you to have a little look at it, to then say thank you very much, dress it up in a little bow neatly, and send it on its way. And this reminds me, that just popped into my mind, I went out a couple of Sundays ago and it was freezing cold, and I think I've mentioned this before, freezing cold, and I was like, well, I came back and I was like, what do I want to warm myself up? And it's like, I want a bath. And I was like, that's a bit indulgent on a Sunday afternoon, and I think I should be doing something else. And the humour was going, I should be tidying up. I should be preparing my week. I shouldn't be having a bath in the middle of the day. And all I heard from my team was, well, why not? And so I had a bath, and I was like, this is so indulgent. This is so lovely. The bubble bath came out, candles came out, the soft music came out. And it was almost like, and how I'm going to say it was almost like I was making love to myself. I was doing something essential for myself. And that's what I needed. And that's what they're saying right now. It's about looking at what you can do for yourself. How can you really self-care, self-love, keep bringing yourself back to aligning where you are in your body, in your soul, in your mind, taking time for you. Because many of us at the moment have been reaching out to look after others, but you can't look after others if there's something not quite right inside yourself. So that's what's happening in this part of April at the moment. A lot of change, expansion of yourself. If you start loving yourself, you start realizing what you really are worthy of, your self-worth. You can step into that self-worth. You can create that reality of what you want as you move forward. It's letting go of the illusion of what you think is happening. The illusion of whatever it is creates that reality. But when you keep bringing it back to yourself and that self-love and that time, you then start creating what you really do want. So you come from a different place. It's like a place of deserving, knowing that this is your time, your moment, and how is it that you can create that love for you and what you can step moving forward. So I know for me, I'm looking at my future and what it's going to bring, and I'm ready for it. And not many people can say when they look at their future that they're ready for it. It feels as if there's a big gap from where they are and where it is. It seems so far away. But as we know, true manifestation, if you're in that moment and you can feel that you're ready for it and you're feeling it in your body, in your bones, and you're using all that energy that you've contained and stored away of that sparkly, like fizzy, champagne of, that excitement in your life. I'm excited, even this morning I was excited when I did my walk. I was like, today I'm going to get 10,000 steps. And I was like, yes, I can do it. And I did it. And I was like, yes. So every little thing that you can feel excited about, bottle it, use it. Your vessel is your container, so that you have a reservoir of where to go to when you're having those moments of when things may not be right, working out as much as you think they are. But I want to say they are, but in a different way. Okay, I hope that helps. But it's all about you now and looking at how you can help yourself move forward and really enjoying life, because life is happening now at this moment. It's not in 5 years I'm going to do this, or 2 years I'm going to do that. It's about now.